Alabama is heading over to Madison, Wisconsin. They are, what is it, 15 and a half point favorites on the road after looking pretty not good against USF. We don't need to get into the Alex Golish field goal kicking decision. Uh, that was terrible. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Alabama, like, look, the score and the AP voters obviously liked what Alabama had to show for their box score, right? Not having watched the game, but that game was a one possession game with 8 minutes to go, right? And then Alabama scored 28 unanswered points. So, what are your thoughts?
we still have yet to see Alabama like have a consistent drive down the football field. I mean, maybe they had one right early in that first quarter against USF. That's going to be concerning on the road, especially if you are having short possessions, short three and outs. You're going to let Camp Randall really get into it, and they're going to be fired up. They're all in on Fickle there, in Madison. But again, Wisconsin has also not looked very good. And Tyler Van Dyke also has not looked super crisp. I really don't know what to make of this because these are two teams that I think, I was higher on Alabama and I thought Wisconsin was going to take steps this year. Was hoping to see Tyler Van Dyke, you know, kind of get back to his old self there, making plays for Wisconsin. I really don't know. I do know one thing though, like Ches Malucci, right? Tyler Walker was good football players. Um, Yakameli, for he's also in there. He's pretty solid as well. So to run the football, right, that's going to be their identity. I think that's what they're going to need to do, especially to keep, Milroe off the field, not let them get in a rhythm because once they do get in a rhythm, right, I do think that they can kind of do some damage. You saw that happen against USF where they get boom, 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 explosive plays, and you kind of get trampled out of the stadium there. But I also like Alabama's front seven more than their secondary, right? They got a really good linebackers, right? They got a really good front there that was able to control the game there against USF. So it'll be interesting. I want to hear your thoughts a little bit more before I make my pick, but um, 11 a.m. noon kickoffs, a big noon kickoff for Alabama, which is hilarious. And I don't know when was the last time they had a big football game where they were 11 a.m. kickoff? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I- I'm like very, I just found it very alarming that they had to use Jalen Milroe in the run game against USF. Okay, like I didn't think they were gonna have to open up the bag, right, to find a way to win. And now what I did like was the explosive plays that they showed in the fourth quarter. Ryan Williams is awesome. Kobe Prentice is good. Jam Miller, if he continues to shine at running back, I think they're gonna be just fine. And they haven't had Caden Proctor, right? So what's that gonna look like when he comes back? I I think Wisconsin's really not good, dude. I think Wisconsin's really not good. It'll be interesting because I mean, you like some of the pieces in the Wisconsin secondary, right? And if they can create negative plays, because Jalen Monroe is prone to the negative play, at times, very high pressure to sack rate. I'm I'm gonna hesitantly take Alabama to cover this 15 and a half. I know it's on the road and it is Camp Randall and they're gonna be bumping, but like I could see Alabama covering you know, like 28-10, you know, like that's a cover, where
Yeah,
Alabama doesn't
yeah.
maybe look fantastic, but neither does Wisconsin.
No, no. And Bama, if you get Proctor back and Pritchett playing right tackle, if hopefully he's healthy, I think it's a much better offensive line. I really like Booker interiorly. I think him, Roberts, like that's a really good duo, and I think that helps out Brailsford too, at the middle. One thing to note too is Justin Jefferson, the linebacker for Alabama, who had his best game as a Crimson Tide, as a member of the Crimson Tide last week. He got ejected for targeting, I think, in that second half last week. So I think he's going to be out the first week. So if there is a possibility, you know, for Wisconsin to run the football, that's going to be where it's going to be, in that first half. But yeah, and maybe keep it close. And if it's a game in the second half on the road, who knows? And by the way, we have seen Alabama struggle. I know it's a new team, new coaching staff, right? But we have seen Alabama struggle on the road as of late, right? The past couple years, uncharacteristically, they have struggled on the road, and it'll be really interesting. It will be really, really interesting. Although Milroe did play, make some nice things at the end of the year last year on the road, especially against Auburn. But yeah, I don't know. What matchup I am excited for is Ryan Williams, and I guess the receivers for Alabama against that secondary of
Hmm.
Wisconsin. There's some really talented players in that secondary, really, really talented. Obviously, Hunter Wooler comes to mind. Obviously Ricardo Holman, is a stud as well. So we'll see how it gets going there and whatnot. But if they can, stop the explosive plays for Alabama, I think they have a chance in this game. But I'm with you here. I'm going to go Alabama to win and to cover. I just don't see it Wisconsin scoring enough. I think Alabama eventually breaks through. And I do think this is going to be a game. I think this is a statement game. I think DeBoer wants to make a statement after last week. Last week was weird because it was you renaming the Saban field, and it was like all this attention on Saban, Saban. I think, DeBoer is just ready to just get out of the shadow and just let us be his own team and then really be able to move forward and get a big momentum win because they have Georgia in a couple weeks and they need to look a lot better than they did this past week. So you get a win over Wisconsin on the road, you head into your bye week and you get it for Georgia. And Wisconsin, on the other hand, I mean, this is not a game you're supposed to win. Obviously, you're 16 and a half point dogs. So you can get into your bye week and then really get gear up for October when there's some winnable football games on the schedule there.
Yeah, I think the implied score given the total and spread is 33-18. Does that sound right? 33-18. The total
So
51 and spread of 15 and a half.
So yeah, 34-17 is a pretty realistic outcome.
Yeah, I'd say so. I like that. That's honestly one of the picks I feel better about when it comes to the rest of the slate that we're picking. But yeah, give me Bama to win and cover.